Hello, this is Jim Barlow. Thought I'd show you today how to use OpenShift to deploy Java source code, do an automatic build and deployment. So I'm logged in as user 4, OpenShift 4.2. I'm also logged in on the Kubernetes command line as user 4, and I'll create a new namespace with the OpenShift command, kubectl effectively, and I'll call this JBoss test. And it's saying I can create an application within there. JBoss test shows up here. I'll go into that. And if I want to change my vantage point from administrator of this namespace to a developer, I can toggle down to the developer interface. I'm given a service catalog with a lot of choices, databases, YAML, Docker files, container images, but there's a full-blown template built for EAP, Enterprise Application Platform of JBoss, with a source code demo. I'll use that template. And you can see here it says JBoss developer, JBoss EAP quick starts. I forked this into my own repository so I can make a change and show you a webhook deployment. And I put it right there. Important to note that it's on there's a branch, the OpenShift branch in this repository, and there's a context directory or a subdirectory within the project to build from, known as kitchen sink. And with that, I'll just give it a little extra RAM and tell it go. Now, the first thing it does is it makes a topology map here with a deployment configuration. And the deployment configuration isn't finished yet. There'll be a dark blue circle when it is. But there's a URL for an ingress controller. The application will be published right here. So as soon as the developer's made a change, that developer can see the effects in the application with a test deployment. I can go anywhere you want in the pipeline. So that's going to continue on. Now there's builds occurring. So the build concept is that there is a source to repository, a source code repository to builder image confluence going on. So my source code is here. My builder image is defined within this link. It all lives in the internet, and it is being combined as we speak into a proper deployment. The events will show us what's happening from the time I said make this application. And we can see containers were generated to actually pull, do the git clone pull or get the builder image from Quay.io where we put the Red Hat builder images. That already happens to be present on the machine is cached there because I practiced. And the build is ongoing. We can't see a lot of detail here, but if I get my pods, get a list of pods, what I see is that there is a builder pod running. And I can monitor that. This takes a little while. It's going to use the Maven strategy to build, so I'll speed this up. So it's done. As a developer, I don't have to build my own containers. OpenShift will automatically do that for me and do it the right way every time. So it pushed the image when it was done to the caching registry built into OpenShift here. And of course, this is the artifact that's in there so that it can be deployed across all the pods quickly. So what happens next? Well, we move from the build to the deploy. So see, the builder is done, completed. The deployment is running. The information from the deployment is fairly Spartan. It's scaling. But you can see that we have an EAP app here running, but not ready. And the reason that is the container is running, but the application stack is still instantiating. It's fun to watch that, but I'm easily entertained. So So here we are. The application stack is starting up. Let's see if it's done. And it is. Welcome to JBoss. Simple database application. And it is building a table, and there's a member's URI to bring the JSON output from the database. Kind of cool. So what I'd like to do is, as a developer, change this and get instant feedback as to how successful I was. So I can do that through, the magic of webhooks here. So the first thing I want to do is go back to my builds, because when I complete a source code change, I want it to trigger a new build automatically. Now, if I look in my build definitions, there's actually a URL here with the webhook already generated with the secret. It won't show up here, but it'll show up when we copy. And you can click very hard there, there's no feedback. Just have to have faith on that one until we try it. Here we'll look at settings, webhooks, add a webhook, paste a webhook. You can see the secret there is now revealed. I'm going to purposely cause an error by not disabling the TLS, because that'll prevent an extraneous build that we don't need. Now edit this. Now I'll tell it, yeah, let's disable. Yeah, I'm being bad, but I don't have TLS set up on that demo cluster. Update the webhook. Okay, and the webhook is defined. So now it's time to make a change to the content, see what happens. So go to here. I know I need to find the kitchen sink. And I know I have to remember to make sure this is on OpenShift. That's our branch in context. So now the trick is just follow the most likely tree down to the source code that we want to change. It's intuitive. Okay, I want to change that welcome to JBoss to something more appropriate that'll show this thing's working. OpenShift and web. So I'll commit that. Now I can go look in the interface here and see if a webhook's been delivered to kick off that build. Best bet, see if a build has been recently started. Aha. So build version 2 is started. It's just an initialization process. And it's building now. So we'll speed this up a little bit. Now we're deploying. Now there's a pod running. We can look at the logs from this interface as well. One pod is completed. I had scaled it up to 2 pods earlier. And now we can see the deployment with the new text that we put into source code change. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.